When I was sitting there in the room talking to leaders like Alexander McCoben, who was the CEO or the president before me, I saw interesting individuals who had a lot of knowledge about the libertarian movement in Europe. And I felt intimidated. I didn't know all of the things that they knew about all the professors, all the different organizations. And I was just blown away by the quality of people that were in that room, trying to really improve the ideas of liberty in Europe and to spread it to ever more people. However, I quickly learned that I could contribute myself. I've started the local coordinator program, which is a training program for students in Europe. Here in North America, it's called the Campus Coordinator Program. Now, we are training several hundreds of people every year just in Europe. Several thousands all around the world. And this is being done mostly by students. And I can honestly say that most of the skills that I have today, as limited as it might be, I'm still young, I understand, are because of SFL. Because they allowed me to do these things, they gave me a framework to spread the ideas of liberty as I wish, and this trust and that training that I've received have changed my life. And therefore I'm super grateful to be part of this organization and help now ever more thousands of leaders around the world to make the same experience while spreading the ideas that we all cherish. And I'm also grateful because you are here because you believe in the ideas of liberty. Many of you come from different partner organizations who defend these ideas every day. And why is this important? Just look around you. Remember the presentation or like the Free to Choose video by Milton Friedman when he was talking about his mother still working in a sweatshop. This was only a couple of decades ago. Now we have smartphones, we have copious amounts of alcohol. We are here in a building which is even overheated. We don't have to freeze. And this is due to capitalism. All of our lives have been changed because of the ideas that we defend. And that's the reason why I'm so excited that you're all here to share that with me. And you all, and Students for Liberty, we are students, we are stewards of the ideas. And that is the most important thing. Ideas trump any kind of personalities. Ideas trump politics, and we have to adhere to them. When I came in here, yes, I have a strange accent and a strange name. However, I focused very much early on the United States. SFL was founded here. The ideas of liberty are very widespread. The Constitution is a powerful document that many nations around the world look at and want to have something similar. And I reached out to our campus coordinator to find out what's going on campuses. All this anti-free speech stuff. People don't want to hear other opinions that make them feel uncomfortable. I wanted to hear like how the daily life of the students look like. What are the struggles? And I've learned interesting things. I also, thanks to Tom Palmer, I've read the ideas of the left. Like, why do they advocate for the ideas and think that free speech is not about it? And by learning that, I've realized there's a lot of issues right now with Trump. We can, and this is the only German word that I will use, we can have a little bit of Schadenfreude if you look at the left, that they're imploding, that they don't know how to deal with soon-to-be President Trump. However, we also have to realize that these people have to be reached, that we have to talk to them, that we have to convince them we are not from the right, but we have actually reasonable principles that can lead to a just and fair society that they want as well. And we have to make the argument, and we have to get to them, listen to them, and speak to them. And that's what our students are doing. Some of them are here in this very room, organizing events where they invite groups from the left, groups from the right, trying to talk about why free speech matters and why it doesn't matter. And many people hear for the first time libertarian arguments because we also listen to them. If you look at right groups, first many of them said like, never Trump, we cannot do this, we will not do this. Now they have also like an identity crisis to some extent, because many are flip-flopping back and forth. But also libertarian groups. Many people started to see that Trump is a huge threat. Some people said like, oh, maybe it's not too bad. And there were a lot of disputes about that. And this is the issue. We as libertarians have to be the stewards of the ideas. If we just focus on an individual who will always be fraudulent and problematic and has his or her problems, you know, then we will always fight. And people are fighting right now. The country is as divided as it ever was. But we can reach out to both the left and the right. We do that, and we talk to them and try to align on ideas that we both share, and present them how we can look at a good society together and working together towards that. I don't want to talk about President Trump and his personality. I mean, I'm just shocked how fast it was normalized, this sort of bombastic behavior and off-putting behavior against disabled people, against women, and all sorts of other folks. Do you remember the comment about the binders full of women?
Yes.
That was a huge outrage. Now the media cannot even keep pace with the stuff that he's saying. It has become normalized. I don't want to talk about that because I don't know what to do about this. On the other hand, Trump also is like a lottery ticket. Many people believe like if you just like scratch hard enough, then you get like a huge win. And we can talk about some of the positive things, right? It's hard to point anything really down because he's flip-flopping a lot as well. So everything what I've said, I probably said something that also undermines that point. But if he really is going to curtail regulation, reducing the amount of havoc that, for instance, Dodd-Frank is creating, then that would be a good thing. I've written about regulation in a paper for the Independent Review recently, and I made the argument that that basically slowed down the recovery after the Great Recession. So if entrepreneurs were freer to make their own decisions and produce value, all the value which made this country an excellent country to live, and I can call it now my home, then that would be good. Another thing that would be good if we would focus on that, he has selected Betsy DeVos. She is focusing on school choice. If she had a little bit impact on there, and it's a question if she can on the federal level, that would be a good thing as well. And the last thing, he has shown himself to defend the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is a unique American right. It's the backbone of many of the liberties here in the United States. So let's see how he's going to do that. However, there's also a lot of bad going on. One thing, you might remember the last time when you were outraged about Paul Krugman and what he has said. What some people don't know is that his earlier papers, which actually made him famous, were on trade policy. And Paul Krugman is better on trade than President Trump. Let that sink in. Another thing that is awful about is wanting to deport millions of people who are living in this country, who are working in this country, who have families in this country. Please just go to Ellis Island and read what's on the Statue of Liberty. To welcome the poor from all of the nations. This is what, from my perspective, why this country is really an amazing country, because people from all walks of life came here and made a living and struggled for it. And people still do that, and now he wants to get rid of all of them. Sure, you cannot let everyone in and you have to like screen them and all of that stuff. Understandable, but what he's also proposing there is not very sensible and antithetical to the ideas of liberty. And one thing that I just want to make clear is that I hope that you will join us and continue to be the stewards of liberty here. Because we also have to always, and we have learned that from Hayek, that principle is more important than expediency. Many people get excited because like something that Trump says sounds a little bit libertarian. And then they say like, and then they defend him and forget like all about the other stuff they're doing. Independent of who is in charge, we have to criticize him or her now and going forward. Libertarians have been very good criticizing President Obama. Now we have to do that, the same thing with President Trump. And we will be the organization also speaking up about that, pointing out the good stuff, but also criticizing the bad stuff. And I hope you will join me in this endeavor. And I'm really, really grateful that you're part of this organization. And thank you so much for being here.